Welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out another weather-related event, and this one is, I think, from 2009. The video is called Snowstorm, Britain's Big Freeze. We've gotten a lot of requests under our other weather event videos to check out so many different snow events.
I've heard of we obviously did 2018.
Yeah.
That was obviously a big one. And then 2009 is mentioned a lot. And then we see,
I believe 1987.
I think that was a different, maybe there was a snowstorm, but that was a different type of storm that year. That was like, I believe, the most massive storm in British history. And it was like in October or something.
Was there one from 1967?
There was 1963, if I'm not mistaken, 1947, I believe.
Oh, a lot of sevens.
And then there was sometime in the 1800s, which obviously there's not going to be any footage from that.
Right.
But we definitely want to continue looking at more of your extreme weather. You know, I must admit, I think that the British love of talking about the weather has rubbed off on me. I really enjoy looking at weather-related stuff.
Yes, he does. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, we're supposed to be getting a really bad winter, I don't even know what you want to call it, storm, I guess.
Yeah.
That's going to roll through like a big part of the U.S., like southern half, basically. Like right through the
southern
middle.
and Midwest.
And then it's going to travel north, I think. But anyway, it's been changing like
Constantly.
almost hourly. And so he's constantly, hey, this is what they're doing now. This is what it's saying now.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I want to keep on it.
I like knowing a little, but I just, I'll prepare, and if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
So anyways, guys, the reason I want to check out this particular year first is because it is outside of 2018. It seems to be the most modern big storm you guys have gotten in like a few decades. And I think eventually we will try to check out like the 63 one and some others if we can find good footage on it. But supposedly, I've been told, don't know anything about it, that this storm like shut down a huge portion of Britain.
Now that I'm thinking of the title of this, The Big Freeze, I'm wondering if it's not snow, but ice.
I think it's probably a mixture of both. And so
ice is the worst.
Ice is the worst. You know, you can deal with some powdery snow, but when you start getting
we were supposed to be getting a lot of ice. Now I think it's switched to more North Carolina is going to be getting ice.
Yeah, and I think we're supposed to be getting a decent bit of snow. And so that's another reason I wanted to go and check this out right now, because we're about to get a snowstorm.
Yeah.
And so, guys, enough rambling. Let's go and jump in here and check out Snowstorm, Britain's Big Freeze.
February 1st, 2009 saw the biggest snowfall in Britain for 18 years.
Wow, 18 years.
In the days that followed, Britain was gripped by travel chaos.
Oh!
Personal drama.
Oh my.
And lucky escapes.
When it went wrong, we just knew that something bad was going to happen.
All over the country, everyday life was turned upside down.
Oh!
Blinding snow. Millions were stranded at home.
Yeah.
Ordinary journeys became a battle against the elements.
Oh my goodness.
Dramatic consequences.
It's going to be all right.
This is the story of why, after 2 decades of mild winters, Britain would fall into the grip of Arctic conditions. And why some parts of the country just ground to a halt.
We were pretty much spot on with when the snow was going to come and where it was going to be heaviest.
But it wasn't all doom and gloom. With the snow came relief from the grind of everyday life. Snowballs and snowmen replaced recession and credit crunch.
It's positive for people who had this camaraderie thrust upon them by the elements.
What do you call that?
Survival.
What led to Britain's
What do you call that?
big freeze?
What do you call that where the dogs are pulling the sled? Bobsledding?
Dog sledding.
Dog sledding. Is that it?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was...
Bobsledding is where...
Yeah, you're right. Bobsledding
It's just human.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, this looks really, really, really big.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, this looks way bigger than 2018's.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Like I thought the Beast from the East was huge, but maybe that was just the hugest storm since 2009, I guess. Because this looks like it probably shut down everything.
That is kind of a fun feeling. Like, obviously you don't want anyone to get hurt, and you don't want, people in bad situations. But it is kind of a fun feeling when everything just comes to a halt and it's like, haha, we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
We can just be free for a while.
Except if someone had an emergency.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Except when something goes wrong.
Yeah,
but...
yeah.
And when might it happen again? London, mid-January 2009. Winds were mild, almost balmy.
It's always in January, isn't it?
Temperatures were 8 to 10 degrees Celsius.
Sometimes February.
For the Met Office, who predict Britain's weather, this was around average for the time of year.
Britain is kept warm most winters because we have the Gulf Stream. So when the winds are coming in off the Atlantic, that means that for our latitude, we're actually quite mild compared to the rest of the world.
See, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Like I picture you guys being cool, like
But not frigid.
but not
Arctic.
frigid. And so seeing like what we just saw, like that type of snow, is still very new to my idea.
Perception.
My perception of what types of winter weather you guys do get. Now, it doesn't seem like it happens like that all that often, but when you get hit, it seems like you can get hit pretty bad.
But on the 15th of January 2009, Sarah Davies, one of the Met Office's forecasters, and her colleagues suddenly became concerned. They had spotted a new and curious weather pattern developing 20 to 30 miles above the Arctic Circle, pushing freezing air south. And at the same time, there was a movement of moist air coming up from France. The Met Office forecasters feared that if these two weather systems clashed, it would trigger the perfect winter storm and drop the biggest snowfall on the British Isles for almost 2 decades.
Wow.
We started to get an indication that there was something quite big on the way. The Met Office issued their lowest tier of warning and advisory on the Thursday.
They forecast a snowstorm in early February. As the collision between the two weather systems became more and more likely,
Oh no.
they stepped up their alerts.
We upgraded it to an early warning on the Saturday. By Sunday, we'd issued a warning of an extreme event.
Right on cue, it started to snow.
Oh.
First,
That's pretty
a
heavy.
freezing
Yeah.
blizzard hit London and the southeast, then moved on to paralyze the rest of southern England. On Monday morning, exactly 5 days after the first warning,
Oh yeah.
people woke up to find themselves in Arctic conditions. The Met Office forecasters had been right. An average of 6 inches of snow had fallen on the country.
And how long?
I don't know.
Overnight? Okay, that is a big snow, 6 inches overnight.
We were spot on with when the snow was going to come, how much snow was going to come, and where it was going to be heaviest.
The thickest blanket of snow for 2 decades hit southern commuters the hardest. But out of the chaos came extraordinary stories of courage and determination.
So I'm curious, like, obviously this is probably different for different areas within the UK, but like, how well prepared do you feel like your road workers and stuff are to ice, or to deal with it, to salt or to sand? I don't really know what is
I think
used.
they call it gritting.
Yeah, it is. A gritter is one of those trucks, I believe, that go and spray the salt water, or the, what do they call it? I can't even think of what you call that stuff.
Sand, right?
Well, some people sometimes use sand, but other times use salt, and sometimes you use a spray that's got like a mix of salt and is it brine? Brine. That's what you call it. And so I'm curious, how well prepared do you feel like they generally are? Because obviously
the southern region is a region I don't think normally gets, like
So
the south.
that's
of
what I'm
England.
thinking.
So, especially like the London area.
Yeah, I
what
would.
I've read in the
I would
comments.
feel like maybe they would be less prepared, and perhaps maybe that's why everything
It was so
potentially
serious.
got so bad with the storm.
The longest walk to work that day began at 5 a.m. in Ashford, Kent.
The longest walk to work.
Peter Cartwright is a radiographer at London's Guy's Hospital. He needed to get to work that day because he had 15 patients awaiting treatment.
Oh my goodness.
His 50-mile journey from Ashford normally takes him 1.5 hours.
By car?
Oh,
Peter started off
Dis-
Oh,
surprisingly
train.
well. he managed to catch a local train.
Did he say 50 or
It was running
15?
Extremely slowly.
50 miles.
50
And
miles?
it normally takes him 1.5 hours to get
He has a
to work.
50-mile journey to work? Wow.
I did make a call to my wife asking her to let the hospital know that I was about 2.5 to 3 hours away.
Wow.
Peter was wildly optimistic. His train terminated after just a few miles.
Oh, man.
With patients waiting for him at hospital, Peter was determined to continue and set off on
Oh,
Wait.
foot. He walked for 10 miles.
that seems
There were still
dangerous.
30 miles to go.
Oh, what? Wow.
The southeast of the
determined.
country was not accustomed to this amount of snow.
That's what I was maybe
On
thinking.
slippery streets, the traffic
Oh.
began to grind to a halt.
Okay, that looks like more than snow. It looks like ice, too.
And catching a bus that day was out of the question. Most services were out of action. Even London's buses, a service that had operated valiantly throughout the Blitz, was suspended for the weather for the first time in history.
The
What?
first
And to
time?
add to the misery, most of London's tube lines were closed.
Okay, if we've got buses closed for the first time in history
That's a
through
big deal.
through other winter storms and
Yeah.
everything, that says something that's very special about this storm. Obviously in a negative way, but
I'm confused why the tube was closed because it's not underground.
well, I think they probably have some above ground sections. I don't really know that much about it, but I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments, guys.
4 hours into Peter Cartwright's journey in Kent, he found an open transport cafe. He was still 20 miles from work.
What an effort.
Exhausted after walking so far, Peter tried hitching a lift.
I just got chatting to a fellow in the queue behind me, so I asked if I could tag along with him.
Peter's lift took him for the next 10 miles. He then had to start walking again.
My
There were still
goodness.
10 miles to go.
I bet he was frozen.
Yeah.
Time of his
Think?
journey so far, 5 hours.
Oh.
Conditions on the roads were treacherous. Cars skidded around like they were on ice rinks, causing accidents and congestion.
Oh no. Oh, I know that feeling
It's scary.
when you just start sliding.
Lorries became accident statistics.
Oh, how did that happen?
I don't know.
It's bent.
Yeah.
The snowstorm had blocked major and minor roads.
Okay, that looks like a blizzard.
Drivers were advised to stay at home, but police and emergency services still found themselves called to hundreds of serious accidents.
Hundreds. Okay, that looked bad.
On
It
that
does.
first morning, 20% of the country's workforce, 6.4 million employees, failed to show up because of the blizzard.
Only that many? I figured it'd be way more.
That's huge.
20%?
20% of the entire country's workforce.
Well, I mean,
Think about that.
but if it's like this widespread, you'd think it'd be more. Maybe up north didn't get as many. as much.
Maybe you could say that, but 20% of an entire country's workforce not showing up to work on one morning. That is massive.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. How many times, like when you were supposed to be at work, have you not shown up because of the weather? I mean, it's happened, obviously, but like usually, it would have been closed down. But if people were supposed to show up and 20% didn't show up because they couldn't get to work, that's huge.
Yeah.
But remarkably, Peter Cartwright did finally manage to get to work.
I bet he was
He
frozen to the
arrived at Guy's
bone.
Hospital in London a staggering 8.5 hours after leaving home.
His whole, almost his whole shift.
He had walked almost 20 miles in the
Oh, my
freezing snow.
word.
What a valiant
It
effort.
was a personal challenge that made me keep going. To me, it was very important. And I can't think of any better reason to walk.
Wow.
Props to him.
Yeah, seriously.
The snow spread west. Roads around Exeter became almost impassable. Skidding and crashed cars on the snow and ice brought further mayhem, piling more pressure on police and ambulance services. On the high ground around Exeter and Dartmoor, the conditions were even worse, and over 200 motorists became stranded in their cars.
That'd be scary.
Some were trapped for several hours in the blizzard, waiting for rescue.
Okay, this road looks like it's not just some snow. It's definitely got a lot of ice compacted on that road as well.
The only lifelines were mobile phones.
We're in 2 lanes of traffic that's at a standstill. I've been here for about 3.5 hours now. We're all sitting here just waiting for some rescue to happen.
You're not going to go
Many of these stranded
on
drivers
that
would have to spend a
with that
freezing
four-wheel drive.
night before being rescued by the police.
Better
and the
hope you've got a
army.
full tank of gas.
Yeah, so you can stay warm.
Within 3 days, the snowstorm had spread from the south to the north. 29-year-old Kelly Roberts woke up to find her hometown of Wellingborough in the midst of a blizzard. Kelly was 9 months pregnant.
Oh, that's got to be a
She was
bad
about to
feeling.
experience one of the most dramatic days of her life.
When I found out I was expecting a baby in February, I said, oh, I better be snowing when I go into labour. Never in a million years thinking that, oh, this would actually happen.
Kelly's husband, Scott, a delivery driver, set out on his short journey to work. He was confident that their baby wasn't due for another few days.
Oh, man.
My journey to work would normally take me 10 minutes. It took me almost an hour to get there because the M1 was closed.
Oh,
Back at home, heavily pregnant Kelly was experiencing the early signs of labour.
oh no.
Kelly called Scott. He was already on his way back. Work had been cancelled due to the weather.
Hello?
You
I
don't
think
say.
you need to start thinking about coming home from work. It's just that I've started having some contractions.
I'm stuck in traffic at the minute.
Would Scott get home to take Kelly to the hospital in time? Little did they realise how dramatic the events of the day would become.
Whew, that was cold.
Yeah, it does.
Why had the biggest snowfall for 18 years hit the south of England?
The road
and
looks
then
fairly
spread
clear
north?
there. Honestly.
Met Office scientists were sure it was due to the curious event miles above the Arctic Circle that had set in motion a violent clash of 2 weather systems. 2009. For the first time in 2 decades.
Oh my goodness! Look at that road. It looks like
you
he's
can't
just,
even see where it's at.
it just looks like he's driving through a field.
All of Britain
A
was
tundra.
blanketed in
Yeah.
snow. In Wellingborough, Northampton, heavily pregnant Kelly Roberts had gone into labour.
Oh my.
Her husband, Scott, was battling through the chaos to get to her.
Is she
I've
gonna
actually
deliver
said
at
to
home?
my boss, you watch, she'll go into labour today. Because I knew that the road from Wellingborough to Kettering was blocked.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, Kelly's contractions had increased.
It did take me by surprise, really, because I wasn't expecting things to progress as quickly as they did.
When Scott finally reached Kelly, he was desperate to get her to hospital.
I could see how much pain Kelly was in then. Yeah, very relieved when the ambulance turned up.
That's good.
Safely inside
Dude,
the ambulance,
they
set
are doing
off
a
on the
full-on
8-mile
reenactment
journey
here.
through the
Even the
snow
ambulance.
to Kettering Hospital.
Okay, you can just take some gas on out.
That's when I started to think this might be a bit difficult because we can't use the main road. The only other road is going through the villages. Now I know how bad it was going on the dual carriageway to work and back. So the villages, I thought we'd have no chance.
You would think
Well, at
that'd be
least
worse.
they've
The
got
short trek would
the
turn into the most
EMS or
dramatic of their lives.
TT in there.
I need to push.
Okay, nice and steady then. All right, don't worry. Okay.
Around Britain,
What is that?
it wasn't just the
Mumbledon?
transport system that had ground to a halt.
Something. I don't.
With so many people phoning in
Oh.
to say they were staying at home, mobile phone circuits overloaded.
Oh,
In the 5 minutes after 8 a.m. on the first day of the blizzard, one major network reported that 500,000 text and phone calls were made, 50% more than normal. And those that were on the move were now getting lost, as some sat-navs became unreliable.
oh yeah.
dear.
Oh my
The sky
goodness.
so full of snow, they couldn't receive the satellite signals.
That is crazy. I never
The
thought about
Federation of
that.
Small
The sky?
Businesses quickly calculated that the snowstorm may have cost the country £1.2 billion.
Woo, that's expensive.
Weatherman and broadcaster John Ketley believes this is overly pessimistic.
Out of the face of adversity came the positives The unique thing about snow is that it's actually good fun for most people. There were gloom merchants, of course, saying it's cost the country £1.2 billion. But this is the computer age, for goodness sake. You could still have a snowball fight and still work from home as well. It's great.
That's true. I love looking at the positive side of things.
Yeah.
And in any situation like this, you're always going to have unfortunate circumstances for some people. Always. You can't help it. Yeah. But there is that side that for the majority of people, especially kids,
it's an unexpected fun day.
They can go outside, sled, and I'm hoping we can sled this coming. This will be the first time we could sled if we can sled.
Well, my concern is we won't be able to get out of our driveway.
Yeah, we'll try to keep you guys posted with a community post on how our weather goes, our snow.
Oh.
Not only could snowbound Britons send emails, they could shop too. Online commerce received an unexpected boost. This online shopping site's records showed a 3-fold increase in traffic, which peaked on the worst day of the snow.
Sledges?
One retailer sold 27,000 sledges in the first week.
I didn't know that.
Their website registering 9,000 hits in a single minute.
9,000 hits a minute?
And the sale of carrots was up too.
Carrots?
With one supermarket site recording a 60% increase in the essential dress of any good snowman.
20.
The last snowstorm we had, it was earlier this year. When was it? Like November.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, it was early. And so we thought we were going to have like this massive winter, and we haven't had any other snow until, well, this weekend. I made a pretty good snowman with Sophia, and I actually used blueberries for the eyes. You remember that? And turned them around.
Wait, no, you didn't use blueberries.
Oh, grapes.
For eyes.
I used grapes.
You used strawberries.
Strawberries, that's right. And it turned out really good.
Be real.
Because you pull off the leaves and you turn it around and put the green side out.
And they weren't fully ripe strawberries.
No, and they literally legit looked like eyes.
Creepy,
it was really creepy.
Steady, go and flop and do your snow angels.
Another extraordinary change also swept the country when the snow arrived. The millions of parents who failed to get to work found themselves reliving childhood experiences with their own children, many of whom had never seen snow on this scale before.
Wow.
I think childhood and snow are connected. When you're 6, 7 years old and snow comes and it completely changes the world that you are used to.
Yeah.
It has a very powerful
feels magical.
It does.
Charlie English is a writer who chronicles our obsession with snow.
I woke up very early with the children. It was still dark and we looked out and we could see the big fat snowflakes. Then the neighbours' children came out from the house around the back and other children from across the street. And pretty soon all the kids in the area seemed to be throwing snowballs at each other, building snowmen.
Wow, look at that.
It was really
a big one.
A magical scene.
This must be personal footage.
Yeah.
Because otherwise how would they...
That looks fun. Nice hill.
Oh my gosh.
You end up talking to your neighbours and your family.
I'm going!
We tend to be workaholics, and it's quite good to be reminded that there are other things beyond that.
Amen.
Absolutely. Oh!
Gosh, poor guy. Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Especially when other people see it happen on video. Poor guy, he's gonna relive
forever.
I was just thinking, I wonder what it would be like to sled down the cheese rolling hill.
Oh my goodness.
Immediate death at the bottom.
Oh goodness. If anyone has ever done that, let us know in the comments, guys. I would love to see it if there was footage of that.
Yeah.
But with the winter weather fun came danger.
Oh.
Rother Valley Country Park, Rotherham, Tuesday, February the 3rd.
There was a lot of activity on the slope, a lot of families here with their children sledging as well.
Julian McKay was here with his 2 young sons. he noticed a group of teenage girls using this car roof as a makeshift sledge.
Oh no, a car
They were coming down the slope from about 30 yards to 40 yards up the slope and jumping off it quite comfortably.
But when the 5 teenagers took the car roof to the top of the hill, Julian could only stand and watch as they careered out of control.
Oh no.
They were going about 50 miles an hour, shouting, "Get out the way." I think the whole slope sort of fell silent, those who were watching it, and just to see what would happen next, were they going to get off it? But I think it was too fast, they couldn't.
Their sledge then collided with a wire fence at the base of the slope.
Man.
4 of the 5 girls remained on the sledge as it slowed to a stop, but one of them was thrown off.
We then stood for what was possibly no more than 3 seconds, just hoping that the girls would get up.
Oh my
But there was no
goodness.
movement whatsoever from them.
All of them?
None of them?
Julian raced to the scene. All of the 5 girls were injured, but one was critical. Within minutes, the air ambulance arrived. But tragically, the girl had received fatal injuries and died within hours of reaching hospital.
That's awful.
It is.
The whole day was a day of total happiness for everybody, you know, the way it started. The enjoyment turned to sadness very quickly. A day that I'll never forget, and I don't think people here will ever forget that sort of day.
That's really sad.
Just a few miles from Rotherham lie the hills of Huddersfield. Here, another day of fun in the snow was about to take a dramatic turn. 12-year-old Chloe Parkinson and her best friend, 11-year-old Martine Hughes, were sledging in Ferney Bridge.
It really slowed at the top, and it wasn't like all snowy that day because a bit of ice was coming off and it was a bit grassy, so we didn't think it would be that fast.
The girls were sledging down this steep 300-foot hill.
When we were first going down, I was like really excited and like we thought it was like having the sledge was like really fun.
300 foot? That's a massive hill. I wonder how actual the incline is.
When it went wrong, we just knew that something bad was going to happen.
Oh my goodness.
As they careered down the icy slope, Martine and Chloe's sledge ran out of control.
Oh no.
Tried to roll off it and that didn't work, and then I shouted to Martine. We put the brakes on and all we did was just skid.
They plunged down this 30-foot sheer drop and crashed into the icy river below.
Oh no.
Really cold. I didn't know what to do.
Chloe found herself trapped underwater, pinned down by a heavy log.
Oh no.
So I was like under the water, trying to keep hold of my breath. She was under the water for like 30 seconds or something, and like we just couldn't take the log off her.
As Martine struggled in vain to free her friend, her screams were heard by 2 teenage boys.
Thank God.
We saw Martine and Chloe sledging down the hill. Next thing we knew, they were in the river screaming for help, so we came flying down the hill.
Wow.
Stephen Keating and Matthew Arnell then jumped into the freezing river.
It took ages for us to get in because we couldn't slide in without hurting ourselves. I went round a bit downriver and jumped in and crossed the river and went over to the other side.
Wading into the freezing water, the boys lifted the log off Chloe, freeing her just in time.
Wow, man.
Steve came back across the river and got him, and then I piggybacked Martine across to the other side of the river. Yeah, it was really slippy. Icy, yeah. Icy. It was quite hard, but we just wanted to get back.
Looking at it now, it's like makes me feel really scared. It's much higher than I thought, and to think that I went through that.
Wow.
And what of modest local hero?
I bet her parents, or those girls' parents,
Yeah.
are forever grateful and indebted to those boys.
Heroes,
Because,
man.
Yeah.
True heroes right there.
Wow.
Oh, man. Wow. You know, because they could have easily just ignored the screams and went about their way. And obviously it would have been
Somebody
a
else
much different
help,
story.
or, you know, yeah.
Yeah. And, whew, wow. You know, that
was a miracle.
As someone with a daughter, that hits home a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just think about things kids get into, you know what I mean? When you're not looking, especially as they get a little bit older. We haven't got to that age yet, thankfully. Yeah. But I know it's coming where she's going to be, you know, out on her own, and she's going to do things that may not always be the best choice. And you just hope they they stay safe.
And their guardian angels are
yeah,
with them.
yeah. I mean, it's just, oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Heroes Stephen and Matthew made of their newfound celebrity.
Everybody's been saying well done to us. Yeah. And proud of us. And we're brave for going in, not thinking of our own lives.
Did they get married?
It's like a lesson to us to always look and be careful to like what we're doing and stuff. I'm grateful and I'm happy with what they did for us. Shut up.
February 2009 was the result of a perfect winter storm. A front of moist air was moving up from France. But in the first week of February, it collided with abnormally cold east winds. Usually, Britain is lashed by mild westerly winds off the Atlantic. But in the 2 weeks leading up to the storm, events above the North Pole reversed the wind direction. What had caused the change? Normally, the temperature up here is minus 70 degrees Celsius.
Minus 70?
But dense air had suddenly flowed into the stratosphere 30 miles above the Arctic, and it caused a rapid temperature rise.
In the middle of January, the
Looks like a
meteorologists
face.
noticed that temperatures had gone up markedly in the stratosphere by around about 50 degrees.
This temperature increase happens every few years, and when it does, it throws the whole Arctic system out of balance. This year, it reversed the normal westerly winds to freezing easterly winds, which made their way down through the atmosphere towards Britain.
Oh my goodness.
And at this point, we updated our winter forecast to indicate that these winds were going to move down to the surface. We're going to get an easterly wind on the surface of the globe, which meant that the temperature was going to get much lower across the United Kingdom.
At the same time as these easterly winds were coming down from the Arctic, the warm, moist front was moving across France towards the UK.
Oh no.
The forecasters had to predict when they would collide and how much snow it would produce.
Oh my goodness, man.
And when the blizzard hit, people all over the country experienced new and dramatic situations that would stay with them for the rest of their lives.
That's it, everything's okay.
In Wellingborough, Northamptonshire, Kelly Roberts was in labour on
I
the way
forgot
to
about that.
hospital.
Yeah.
But the roads were at a standstill because of the snow. For 7 days, Snowstorm Britain struggled in the snow.
7 days.
During the week of the blizzard, many of Britain's roads had seized up and become impassable. The advice was don't make a journey if you could possibly avoid it.
Yeah.
This was of little help to Kelly Roberts, who is now having contractions in the back of an ambulance.
Press. Everything's going to be all right, okay? Don't worry about anything.
3 hours into her labour, her ambulance was making very slow progress to Kettering Hospital.
The chap in the back of the ambulance, he was really, really good. The way he was talking, he's joking around, it was almost like, oh yeah, this happens at least once a week, it's not a problem.
That's it, everything's okay. Yep.
Just minutes from the hospital, the traffic ground to a halt on the slip road of the A14.
Okay, don't worry, nice and steady.
All you could see was the side of lorries. We were literally inches away from these lorries.
It was now obvious they weren't going to make the hospital in time. Kelly was going to have to give birth in the back of the ambulance.
What a birth story.
What about story?
Fight against it, but you just can't. You've got to kind of go with the flow and just get on and do it, but you can't stop yourself.
Deep breaths on there, deep breaths. All right, baby's coming. Push, just push. Baby's coming now, okay? It's going to be all right.
I can remember thinking, it's not going to be born in an ambulance. She's not going to be born in an ambulance. And then all of a sudden she was.
Steady. It's baby girl. Oh, bless you, it's a little baby girl. Well done.
At 12:05 p.m. at Junction 7, baby Amy was born.
Baby Amy.
The ambulance crew announced her arrival to fellow stranded motorists and lorry drivers.
Aww.
In celebration, they tooted their horns.
That's so sweet.
I did hear lots and lots of shouting, but it didn't obviously register. You know, just had a baby, it didn't register what was happening. But the ambulance lady told us later on that she'd said it's a girl, and all the lorry drivers had cheered and things, which was nice of them.
Now safely home, baby Amy is blissfully unaware of her dramatic birth that took place here on a slip road.
Wow.
What an entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a story that'll last for quite a while.
Yeah. Every time we take her to Kettering, the slip road. I'm sure she'd be sick of it by the time she's 14, but tough.
Well, that was a happy ending.
In the grip of such severe weather, the whole country was on the alert for anything unusual.
Is that a tornado?
It does look like it. What are they called? What are they called when they're over the water?
Isn't there
another name for it?
Not a cyclone. There is. I can't think of what it's called though.
This twister was caught on camera just off the coast of Cornwall.
Oh my goodness.
A vortex of wind sucked up seawater high into the storm clouds above.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
By the end of the week, the extreme winter weather changed again. The melting snow giving way to lethal ice.
Oh, was that ice?
On Friday, February 6th, giant sheets of falling ice forced the closure of both 7 crossings.
Oh.
Having formed on the overhead gantries, 3-foot slabs of ice crashed
That was ice?
Yeah.
below.
That's scary.
Despite 6 cars having their windscreen smashed, luckily no one was injured.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Okay, I can see why they closed that.
First time in their history, both bridges into Wales were shut down due to the
First time in history?
There's a lot of firsts
Even the
with this.
mountains were experiencing the worst snow and ice conditions for many years.
Oh my goodness.
In North Wales, Snowdon's steep slopes had turned into sheet ice.
On the slopes, it's a bit like a skating rink, on a slant, really.
Oh dear.
In the week of Snowstorm Britain, 4 climbers lost their lives in Snowdonia.
Oh man.
Llanberis Mountain Rescue found themselves inundated with calls. One emergency call was from experienced climber Matt Love.
Hello, emergency rescue, please.
Which mountain are you on?
In Snowdon.
What's happened? Is anyone hurt?
Matt had just watched in horror as 2 friends fell on the ice.
Oh
man. He just slipped, and he slipped so fast he disappeared.
Oh my goodness. That would be horrifying.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that could happen so fast, and then Matt fell near enough straight behind him.
How badly hurt are they?
We don't know. We've lost them. They fell straight off the mountain.
My first thought was that they had died. I thought that was it.
It was a race against time. If they were alive and injured, they could still freeze to death.
The temperature drops by about 3 degrees per 1,000 feet you ascend, so if it's already freezing in the valley, it'll be -9, -10 on the top of Snowdon.
Ooh.
You put some wind speed into that, and suddenly you've got wind chill factors of maybe -15.
One of the men had fallen nearly 700 feet, sustaining serious injuries.
Wow.
He was found using the helicopter's night
He was
vision
alive?
He's moving. Oh, is that?
Eventually, all 4 climbers were airlifted to safety.
Wow.
Matt
Thank
and
God
his
for
friends
rescue
are
teams.
fortunate
Yeah.
to be alive.
What are those guys called? The rescuers?
I just said mountain rescue. I don't know.
If anyone knows the actual name for those guys, I'd like to look them up at some point.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that'd be very interesting.
They were all extremely lucky. If they were cats and had 9 lives, I suspect they used a
Mountain rescue. Maybe that's just what it's
It
called.
was a triumph for the rescue services.
Rescue
What they
services.
did was amazing, and without them, it could have been so much worse.
But the luckiest escape came as Caroline Saunders was driving home at night to Bishop Burton, East Yorkshire.
I just lost control. I think, it must have been like the black ice on the road.
Wow, she's fine.
And then I was just being flung around in the car, and the next thing I just saw the fence coming towards me. And then I just felt like I was in a roller coaster and my car tipping. The next thing I know, I was roofed down in the pond.
Crashing
Oh,
through
no,
the
in
thin ice,
water.
Caroline was trapped upside down in her sinking car.
Oh my goodness.
Freezing cold, absolutely freezing cold. And I couldn't get out, and I just saw these lights, just pressed my horn and just banged frantically on the window, thinking, please, just come and help me.
She was spotted by a passing taxi driver, James Brown.
All I could see was like a hand banging against the inside of the window.
This is a recording of his emergency 999 call. Caroline's car horn is clearly audible in the background.
There's someone upside down in Bishopburn Pond. They're trying to get out of the car.
Right, so there's been a car accident?
Yeah, there's a car now. They're upside down. They're trying to get out. All right, hang on, hang on. I'm going to have to save them. Yeah, they're in the pond now. I'm going to have to save them, all right?
Oh my goodness.
Despite the emergency services telling him to wait for help, James knew this was a desperate situation.
Wait for help?
He made a life-or-death decision, waded into the freezing pond, and smashed through the driver's window.
Wow.
The worst thing was the dark. I was having to feel inside for her. But when I
it was
felt
dark?
her hand, you know,
It was
kept hold of
dark.
it tight
Yeah.
and dragged her out.
The emergency
Wow.
services were full of praise for James's actions.
It's a good thing he
James's
saw her.
heroism
you know?
saved Caroline's life. The biting easterly wind that froze Britain happens every 2 or 3 years. But when this wind collided with moist air coming up from France directly over London, it turned into an event that only occurs every 2 to 3 decades. The result? A massive blizzard.
What we had at the beginning of February was the Battle of Britain in meteorological terms, really. We had the cold air, which had swept further south than normal, certainly normal winters of recent years, coming down across the country, and it was battling up against the mild, very wet southwesterly wind across the south coast of England. On this occasion, the cold air won the battle, and that meant that instead of rain, we had some pretty heavy wet snow.
But just how rare are Britain's extreme snow events? They appear to run in cycles. Over the last 60 years, Britain has suffered heavy snowfalls in regular intervals.
This is how snowed up Britain
Oh.
used to be.
1947.
Leicester's mainline station. But where are the trains? Heading back towards London over the countryside, we find the trains marooned in the deep snow.
In 1947,
Wow. That's
crazy.
austerity Britain shivered in one of the worst winters on record. From January the 22nd to March the 17th,
Man, that was
snow
deep.
fell every
It
day
does.
somewhere in the UK.
Every
As the
day?
heaviest snowfalls
Wow.
for 130 years cut off large areas of the country. In the Midlands, it reached 6
That
feet
is
deep.
insane. 6 feet?
The
What?
Air Force was called in to drop emergency supplies.
Wow. Yeah, we definitely got to check more
The
about that.
onslaught of snow battered a country struggling to recover from the Second World
That's
War.
Oh,
true.
right after.
Yeah.
With roads blocked, coal supplies were stranded at the collieries. Britain faced an energy crisis. Emergency legislation cut electricity supplies. TV was shut down, and Buckingham Palace was reduced to working by candlelight.
Wow.
As the freeze dragged on, even the food supply was under threat.
Look at
Wow.
The
that.
snow came down, it got compacted, the frost was very severe. Another batch of heavy snow came on top of that, and so the ground was getting colder and colder and colder. The farmers couldn't dig up the crops, and so there was a near famine in this country by the end of the winter.
Oh.
Okay.
What in
This
the
is the fun side of it right here, I guess.
But this was make do and mend Britain. And at least frozen lakes and ponds offered light relief.
The worst spell of weather for 50 years. We hope it'll be 50 more before we get another.
But Britain didn't have to wait 50 years. As the winter of
1963.
1963 was destined to be another record breaker. Although there was less snow than in 1947, it was the coldest winter since 1740.
Whoa.
Wow.
Insane.
3 people
17.
died battling against the snow, and 2 more were suffocated in a snowbound car.
Look how
In
tall that
Braemar,
is.
Aberdeenshire, the mercury plummeted to minus 22.2 degrees Celsius. And nationwide, mean temperatures barely hovered above freezing.
Oh my goodness.
It was cold enough that even some lakes, some rivers, and even the sea froze over. And there are reports even of people managing to drive across the Thames at Windsor.
Oh my goodness. Drive across the river? On a frozen river?
Yeah.
1963 was so much worse than anything we saw in 2009. The temperatures were far lower, and the freeze continued far longer.
January and February did see very severe frosts. New falls of snow would come down on top of highly compacted ice, which had been developing for weeks after weeks after weeks.
Britain's infrastructure took a battering.
Look at that.
That wouldn't feel
Not
real.
only were the roads and railways impassable, but once again, the crops froze in the fields, and the power went off.
In Piccadilly, the lights went out for the first time since 1949. Hospitals were cut off without warning.
But as the blackout continued, it was a different crisis that gripped the nation's housewives.
It's the question of bottles. You see, the housewife is virtually hiding the bottles underneath the snow in rather similar to this.
With millions of empty bottles lost in the snow and the rest frozen on the doorstep, milk delivery had reached crisis point.
All the customers to be on the doorstep more or less with their money to pay their accounts, because all these delays keep the men out late, and if the roads freeze, we're in trouble again.
By the way, whatever happened to milk delivery, guys?
I don't know.
I love the idea of
I
that.
do.
Finally, on March 6th, the thaw arrived.
Oh my
With
goodness.
inevitable floods and recriminations.
Wow.
We can only hope that the public and local authorities who are caught with their pants down will pull their socks up. If you see what we mean.
I don't.
But it seems we never learn. In 1991,
91.
the last time we had a severe winter, we were told we had the wrong type of snow.
Wrong type of snow.
If you are able to reach your destination by alternative means, we strongly recommend that you do so.
British Rail famously blamed the unusual soft powder snow for paralysing the network.
They came out with all these excuses. The powdery snow was sticking on the rails, it was getting into the engines, causing all sorts of chaos at British Rail.
The dry snow of 1991 was due to exceptionally cold winds sweeping down from Siberia. But in February 2009, the snow was the normal wet type.
Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. All compacted, you can make a fantastic snowman with that. That is really good British snow.
Even though the snow this time was the right type, the result was all too familiar.
The full extent of the disruption is now coming clear. Those stuck at bus stops, train stations and airports have had plenty of time to ask whether some of it could have been prevented.
Jim Dale is a risk meteorologist. He advises businesses on the best way to deal with extreme weather.
In the UK, 80% of companies are weather sensitive to one degree or another. You know, that takes in a lot of companies.
He believes Britain needs to be more proactive when extreme weather strikes.
Is this 2009?
I think in this country we have a real problem with this, where it's heads in the sand, it's ostrich time.
The snowstorm of February 2009 may have been the worst for a generation. But if we were to ask our distant ancestors, they would have far worse tales to tell. From the mid-16th century, Britain was blighted by the Little Ice Age.
Crops failed, the glaciers advanced into alpine valleys, there were famines in parts of Britain.
Even though life was hard, the onset of winter was seen as an opportunity for celebration. Frost fairs would spring up whenever the River Thames froze over.
I think they were probably impromptu social events, and enterprising businessmen, bakers and pie makers and whatever, went out onto the ice, setting up stalls and puppet shows, and there was a lot of drinking and lechery apparently as well, and presumably did what the British do in most such situations and drank rather a lot and got off with each other.
This cold snap lasted for an unimaginable 200 years.
What?
Wow.
I've never
Although
heard of
our climate
that.
is now much milder, we can still experience extreme winters. And if this happens every 2 or 3 decades, could this be part of a cycle?
It's not necessarily cyclical, it's just an average. So we do expect these sort of events to happen 1 in 20 years. However, I'm not saying that we won't have another one now for 20 years. We could have it next year, we could have it the year after, or we could have it in 40 years' time.
Weather broadcaster John Ketley has also remained unconvinced there is a cycle.
In recent days, weeks, we've been talking about this has been the heaviest snowfall since the winter of 1990-91. Don't forget that the 2 previous winters to that were extremely mild. They were record-breaking mild winters, so I'm not a great fan of cyclical forecasting at all. It may just be a huge coincidence as far as I'm concerned.
Britons always complain when our cities grind to a halt. So is it time to start investing in bigger and better support schemes?
If we go to such extremes in terms of expenditure, I think it's legitimate to say it probably would be a waste of money.
We don't have
'Cause it's so infrequent.
snowplows in sufficient quantities in this city to deal with the roads that are currently impassable, and nor do I think it would be a good investment of taxpayers' money to have snowplows, for an incident of a kind that only occurs once every 20 years.
My memory goes back to 1976. We had a minister for drought after a long hot summer, and within a week the rain was coming down and there was flooding in the autumn. A minister for snow would be an absolute joke in this country.
A minister
So what should we do when the next bad winter happens?
It wouldn't be too much of a hassle to have a spade in the back of a car, for example. Councils could think about delivering a bag of grit to every household so that they can get on with their own business around their own house and making pathways and
I hear
walkways
people
that
use
much
kitty
safer.
litter, like they keep a bag of kitty
The way I feel
litter.
to deal with schools is based around the internet. The children were not able to get to school, so the school posted homework on the internet for
e-learning.
the children to pick up and do whilst they were at home. So there's one very good example of what schools can do.
The first week in February 2009 was our snowiest for 18 years. A once-in-a-generation event transformed the British landscape. But Britain's relationship with the weather turned frosty. There was travel chaos and shutdown, followed by struggle and drama. But out of the week came unselfish acts of bravery and brief, spontaneous moments of fun.
Positive for many kids, obviously, getting the day off school. It's positive for people who had this camaraderie thrust upon them by the elements. And maybe, despite the protestations about global warming, maybe we still will, through the next century, see decent snowfall every now and again. That'll be great.
No one knows when the next one is due. But when the great white blizzard does appear, Britain once again will change into an astonishing winter wonderland.
Wow.
That was cool. They did a really good job on that.
They did a phenomenal job on that, guys. You know, it is interesting. I feel like you guys have a very interesting climate because two things. Like they were saying, you don't get the massive blizzards enough to have the government invest in as much snow-related infrastructure.
Right, it's too unpredictable to...
Because it would be a waste in so many years to have that there. But when you get hit, it's going to feel hard.
Mm-hmm.
But then also in kind of a different type of weather, when you get really hot, because you don't experience the sweltering heat for months on end usually, you don't really need air conditioning that much. But when it gets hot for those weeks out of the year, I've heard it's absolutely brutal.
Miserable, yeah.
And so you have to go through these experiences every once in a while that are very extreme, and you don't have as much remedy to that extreme weather.
So it feels even worse.
Yeah, because you're just dealing with it. And so this seems like this absolutely ground everything to a halt in 2009. Like it shut down everything.
Yeah.
Even the buses shutting down for the first time in history. Like that kind of blows my mind. Through everything, buses were still going since buses had started running, and they literally, this storm, 1963 didn't stop them. 1947, I mean, surely there were buses, right? And those didn't stop it, but 2009 stopped it.
pretty crazy.
That says something about this storm, that it wasn't the coldest on record. It wasn't the heaviest snowfall, but there was something about it that made it even worse in some regard because things could not continue. Anyways, guys, this was an incredible documentary. I'm glad we checked this out. Really enjoying the weather related topics. Please let us know in the comments what you think we should check out next. Surely 1963 might have to be on that list. It sounds like it was a big deal. 1947, but how much footage? I don't
know.
Remember they even said,
they showed some of it.
They even said that the TV had to shut down.
True.
So like how much footage would have been filmed by the BBC or whoever at that point? You know what I mean? I'm surely some, because they actually had some footage. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.
Bye.